Peace, 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 family. Sister Victoria X here. And we are going to pick up where we left off last night. It was a beautiful reading. We had a beautiful discussion on part two. I thank all of you that were actually able to come in and listen to the reading. We had a very good time. So we're going to go ahead. So I got on a little bit earlier today just so that we have the time that we need to be able to do the chapter and finish our commentary all in one video. Because like I was sharing with you all last night, I have a meeting at 8 a.m. It's currently 7:14. Um, and so today we are reading, let me get my pen. Today we are reading chapter 15, and it's called The Original Prince Charming and His Princess. Okay. And so if you would like to get updated and know when I go live, text Healthy Hue all caps no space to 77948. I also sporadically send you some motivational text messages. So if that's cool with you, go ahead and click that. Also, if you would like to hear chapters 1 through 15 and you're on Instagram, go ahead and click the series button on my page and you'll be able to hear all the live readings on Instagram. If you are on Facebook, go to sistervictoriax.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom and click the YouTube icon. Walaikum salam, ma'am. And click the YouTube icon and you'll be able to look at chapters 1 through 11. So this week, it is my goal to upload chapters 12 through 13. I might as well just go ahead and do chapters 12 through 14, and then I'm gonna sprinkle some videos up in the middle, if that's okay with you all. And as always, I'm gonna go ahead and do the commentary first. I mean the reading first, and then the commentary last, because I know and understand that everybody don't want to hear my commentary. And also, if you have been enjoying these readings, if you like what we've been discussing, go ahead and share this out with at least one person. If you're on Facebook, just share it to your main page. But if you're on Instagram, at least share this out with one person. So we can get some more activity in the comments. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading. Chapter 15, The Original Prince Charming and His Prince. Do you remember stories from Greek mythology when you were growing up? Aesop's fables, The Hare and the Tortoise, or The Ant and the Grasshopper? Excuse me. Aesop was a black man whose real name was Lookman, Luqman. Lookman. There is a chapter in the Holy Quran named after him. What about tales of strong and courageous men such as Hercules and Theseus? The origin of these myths is in the real-life heroism of the black man. The mythic hero Perseus, copied in the film Clash of the Titans, is a prototype who is motivated on all his adventures by his noble love of the female. The real hero was passing through Ethiopia, where he rescued the beautiful virgin princess Andromeda. He was sent on hopeless quest which required him to kill monsters, including the terrible Gorgon Medusa, whose hair was made of poisonous snakes. Victorious, he married Andromeda and became king. Perseus is an image of the true romantic spirit of the black man, a champion of women, in distress and defender of high ideals, who ceaselessly searches for perfect love. By nature, the black man is not only powerful and fearless, he is gentle, idealistic, and sensitive, capable of sacrificing everything, including his life, for the honor and integrity of his woman. The filthy, lewd behavior and reference to women as ESs, is as far from the true nature of the original man as one could imagine. In truth, he wants his sexual relationship to be blended with an ecstasy of the spirit along with the body and mind. Mere body satisfaction really leaves him empty, and this is why he has become so contemptuous of the black woman. With few exceptions, the Black woman has been reduced by slavery, racism, and sexism to a level of immorality reflected in her appearance as well as her behavior. Her condition has robbed the Black man of his very reason for being. What most women do not appreciate is his need to actually feel worthy of his intended as circumstance that allows him to earn the right to possess her. He needs to experience the romantic dimension of love in which he can kneel before his queen and offer his proposal of marriage. One night stands and easy conquests are not good for him in the run. He wants to place his woman on a pedestal where she can bring out the essence of God that is within him. This is the reality of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, that a nation could rise no higher than its woman. All of the tales of knights in shining armor, which flourished in Europe in the so called Middle Ages, were attempts to reflect the spirit and nature of the original man. He adored the female and desired her from a distance. When he decided to seek her hand in marriage, he went to her father or custodian and offered not only his wealth, but his life to protect and provide for her. It is critical to the restoration of real love between the Black man and woman that we appreciate the true nature of one another. They may not fit they may not fit well with current fashionable attitudes, but there's a key. They may not fit well with current fashionable attitudes, but there is a key to the mysteries of our relationships which we have lost. A woman needs a man's magnetism, and a man needs to possess a woman. Please do not react too quickly to this statement. Metaphysicists have, until that happens, he only has creative potential, which will never manifest fully. This is why this is why the shining knight seeks the chaste and beautiful woman to protect and serve. Her femininity inspires nobility and brings forth his masculine power to become a creator. So many Black men never reach high goals because they lack the necessary support to apply their willpower to the actions of fulfillment. That support can only be found in the soul of the Black woman. Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, said he could take the Muslim woman under his guidance, sit her on top of the world, and tell everyone that the most beautiful nation is in the wilderness of North America. The Black woman here in North America is the descendants of the original woman, a goddess whose beauty was unfathomable. We have been treated as an object of contempt, and mockery has been made of our appearance. Nevertheless, the Black woman is so desirable that the white man left his wife to sneak into slave cabins and force himself on our mothers through centuries of physical bondage and continues to stalk her to this day. Through all of her suffering, the Black woman has remained faithful to the Black man on the deepest level, even though the relationship seems opposite that on the surface. She knows intuitively that one day he will return to his original self, and her unswerving devotion to Allah God has given her a deep inner conviction that in the end everything will be all right. She is strong-willed, self-contained, and stable. She is the reason we have not been completely annihilated. In the cotton fields or in the ghetto, she has rules as a queen, and in the absence of her man and without the label quote unquote wife to make her socially acceptable, she has still insisted on respect. It is time now, however, for her to allow the manifestation of the feminine qualities that have been suppressed for so long. She does not have to fade into domestic oblivion. She will always be a warrior woman who will fight beside her man in all his battles. But it is time for the black man to step out as a strategist and sharpen strategist and sharper of world events. I'm sorry, shaper of world events. The profound truth a nation can rise no higher than its woman cannot be overemphasized. The female is the prime cause of the man's, the family's, and the nation's success or misfortune. She projects her emotional or negative way. Depending upon the quality of her own mind and the level of her spiritual development, a man can only learn the mystery of God when he comes to a full understanding of the nature of the female. There is no heaven for a man without a woman. Conversely, a woman needs a man to reach her max. Ooh, sorry. Conversely, a woman needs a man to reach her maximum fulfillment. Every woman at the core of her being wants to find a man worthy of giving her soul to, but she cannot do that unless she sees and experiences the spirit of Allah God in that man. The male and female need one another to attain completeness, which is perfection. So that is the conclusion. That is the conclusion of chapter 15, the original Prince Charming and his princess. Peace, family, peace. I don't know what's going on with Instagram, why I keep just dropping me like that. It's so rude and disrespectful. And if you all have not heard chapters 1 through 14 on Facebook, I mean on Instagram, you can click the link on my profile. It'll be a series called Read Alongs, and all 14 chapters are up there. And then for Facebook, go ahead and go to sistervictoriax.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and click the YouTube icon. This week, I will be uploading chapters 12 through 14 on my YouTube. Um, yeah, I don't know why Instagram just played me like that. If you are enjoying these read alongs, go ahead and share this out to at least one person. And we're going to go ahead and get into the commentary part of it. The interesting part about this whole chapter is all of these names some of them I've heard before, others I have not heard before. And this is really all about Prince Charming and his princess. Because I don't know. I'm sure that some of you guys heard what I was saying and knew exactly what prince or what princess it was talking about. Um, and so I thought that was like really weird in trying to read this. Um, by nature, the black man is not only powerful and fearless, he is gentle, idealistic, and sensitive, capable of sacrificing everything, including his life, for the honor and integrity of the woman. It's so interesting that sometimes these are not attributes that we would necessarily attribute to the black man or our black man, right? And I'm talking about in like a relationship in this point, because like oftentimes they come off cold, lacking emotion, and or it's either lacking emotion or too much emotion to where they can't control it, right? But we very rarely use words like gentle to describe them, and words like sensitive. Of course, we're very familiar with their ability to sacrifice. But it was just interesting when I was reading that in truth, these things are true, but the way that we experience them and the way that we've been trained in our femininity to identify certain emotions have really been shifted, right? So it's a bit more difficult to see some of these kind of traits because we've been kind of raised and pushed into this whole masculine femininity, which is not really femininity, and then this whole independent, I'm an independent woman, I don't need no man type of thing, which is completely lies and trash. And if you feel differently, feel free to feel differently, but I still think that's a trash mindset. And so, yeah, I thought that was very interesting just coming off the bat because those are not definitely not attributes we usually lend to our men. And then what most women do not appreciate is his need to actually feel worthy of his intended, as circumstances that allow him to earn the right to possess her. He needs to experience the romantic dimension of love in which he can kneel before his queen and offer his proposal of marriage. Is so like And I can speak for myself and, other women that I've come into contact with, and please share your perspective in the comments. Hey, GS Wayne, thank you for tuning in. D8P up in the building again. Thank you for tuning in, family. Hey, Sister Shalon. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Shalon and Sister Deja. Um, it's so interesting that we often think that as women, that we are the only ones that don't feel as if we're worthy or that we deserve a certain level or kind of man, or even the man that we're with, right? And most of the times we never stop and consider that on the other end, there might be some desirousness of being worthy as well. They just have a different way of expressing that. And maybe they don't express it at all. I don't know. I'm not a man. But the fact that she said that we don't appreciate his need to actually feel worthy. So I would challenge and I would question, how are we making our spouses feel worthy? How are we make, even if not our spouses, but how are we making our male friends feel worthy? And I don't know what that answer is. I don't know what that looks like. So if you're a man in the comments, please let us in on the inside secret. But I thought that was interesting because I never would have thought or considered, and maybe that's in my lack of knowledge, that there is a desire to, maybe not completely oblivious to it, but there is a desire to also want to feel worthy. Um, And then she goes on to say, so many Black men never reach high goals because they lack the necessary support to apply their willpower to the action of fulfillment. That support can only be found in the soul of the Black woman. Now, I want to, I hate PC, politically correctness. But I will say this, and I'm going to leave it here. And, my intention is not to offend anyone. So I'll start there. But I will say is there is no other woman on the planet Earth that can understand a Black man like a Black woman. There are just parts of our struggle that are exclusive to us, right? And we're not talking about the actuality of it. We're talking about the mentality of it, right? There are no other group of women or kind of woman that is more understanding and more relative to the Black man than the Black woman. Now, some will say that's anti-interracial. What is it called? Interracial dating or marriage or whatever. In truth, I am against interracial dating, but I also don't care who you choose to lay with. So I guess whatever. But I still do not believe that there is another woman for the Black man that can truly understand, because I seen a video, right? I seen a video of a Black man with a white counterpart. And hey sister Branica, thank you for tuning in. And so she was doing a prank on him. And the prank was basically her acting like, I guess, ghetto, and she had on this wave cap, she had on a hoodie, da 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 da, and her white friend was just busting up. I'm not saying this is all white people. Peace, one silent sound. Thank you for tuning in. But thought it was just so hilarious. They were laughing, and you could literally see on his face. It was at that moment he knew maybe this was not the relationship for him. Oh, I'm sorry, Branika. Oh, excuse me, Branika. Thank you for tuning in. Um, did I say it like I'm sorry? Real slow like. Um, but just in something that's so small, there's certain things that other women just would not be able to understand. And there's also certain things that can only be understood coming from a Black woman. Like if that same joke would have been done by a Black woman, well, we would never do something so silly. But if it was, it's more like an inside joke. You know what I mean? Like those inside jokes where you look at a friend and y'all kind of looking at each other and you start laughing because it's something y'all talked about in the past or something y'all experienced in the past. and so you laugh because you understand that both of y'all were in it. That's what that is. Thank you, Deja Banks. Deja Banks be on it, okay. And so that's what I thought. Those are my thoughts. Who you, like I said, who you lay with is none of my business. I'm for my people at all times, and I would prefer we recreate with each other. But like I said, I'm not one of those people that's like, I'm not on the picket fence. That's not my thing. So it is time now, however, for her to allow the manifestation of the feminine qualities that have been suppressed for so long. She does not have to fade into domestic oblivion. Domestic oblivion, that means cooking and cleaning all the time. What is it? And y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I ain't gonna say the who said it because I'm not for sure 100% who said it. But in the teachings, we're taught that the home is our base and not our place. So do not fade into domestic oblivion. We are more than just cooking and cleaning. We are more than just that. And sometimes we think that that defines our femininity, when actuality, femininity is far more than action. Femininity is the way that you carry yourself. Femininity is a character quality. Um, and I'm still on my femininity journey. So I don't, you know what I mean? These are just things that I have come up with as I have been studying and thinking about things that I need to change and in my actions as well as in my mental thoughts, right? Um, and so we have to almost relearn who we are at the core, who we are as women, because we've gotten so hard over time. We've gotten so used to taking care of ourselves, financially, spiritually, mentally, which is typically a role for our counter spouse. Let me put this away, okay? I'm paying attention, y'all. You know what I mean? And so we've gotten to these positions that sometimes, even when we're in a relationship, when we have to do certain things, as like if we happen to, have to help with a bill, or we have to, take a trash out, or we have to actually go out and work, we that could be seen as a trigger for some of us, right? Because we're used to doing that. And when we have to do that, but we have someone that's supposed to be doing that, then we start, decreasing in femininity. So I want y'all to drop some books in the comments that you think are good at exploring femininity. I would love to have some more books. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Daniel. And then the last part is, a man can only learn the mystery of God when he comes to a full understanding of the nature of the female. There is no heaven for a man without a woman. Set yourself in heaven at once. Um, Conversely, a woman needs a man to reach her maximum fulfillment. Um, and so that's the end of the chapter. I think that's the perfect way to end it off, because it goes back to what I was saying earlier, this mindset that we typically have about not needing a man. I'm sleeping. I need to find my femininity. I have mine right over there in the bookshelf, which I need to get back into it. Um, Not needing a man or not needing a woman. Sometimes we confuse need. We confuse what the word need means in perspective, right? Because we automatically think that if we need someone, there is um, a negative connotation about lacking something, right? As far as whatever we put in there, needing something or needing someone is often seen as negative, because we believe that we should be self-sufficient. We should be able to have to do all this on our own. We should be able to go through these trials and live life and struggle on our own. We don't need nobody. But in actuality, it's more than just about a companion, like someone that you can talk to. It's someone that's meant to fulfill those pieces of, or fix those pieces of yourself that sometimes you can't readily identify that are broken. Praise be to Allah, ma'am. Hey, Ray and Dina, thank you for tuning in. Right, and so it's more than just being about, needing someone for the sake of, paying a bill, or for the sake of, what I mean, not being alone in bed at night. Right, it's needing someone to complete the half that you're supposed to complete, because some parts of us are only revealed when we're in a relationship. Some parts of us only come out, and maybe the relationship doesn't last long. But the truth of the matter is, you got the exposure. And so now you can build from there. There are some parts of us that we never will know that we need to work on until we have to be around somebody else 24/7. Because when you're alone, there's some things that you just are not going to encounter with yourself that you're going to encounter with somebody else. So I think that's important. It's not peace and blessings. It's not a sin. It's not a negative to need somebody. Needing somebody doesn't mean that without them you will fail or that you will fall into some hole or that you will struggle. It just means that there are parts of us that only can be elevated, only can be increased, um, and only can be exposed, right? If we're talking about self evaluation, right? It only can be exposed with another person, right? Because we ain't gonna argue with ourselves the way that we argue with somebody else. So I thank you all for tuning in. Please share this out if you found value. We just finished reading chapter 15, The Original Prince Charming and His Prince. If you would like to listen to the other chapters of this book, go to my YouTube, sistervictoriax.com. Go ahead and scroll all the way down to the bottom. Click the YouTube icon. If you would like to get notified when I go live, go ahead and text Healthy Hue, all caps, no space, to 77948. And you'll get a notification about when I go live, any deals that I may have, as well as some motivation every now and then. So again, I thank you all for tuning in with your sister, and I look forward to speaking with you a little bit later. So enjoy your day and go check out the if you're on Facebook and you have not followed me on Instagram, go do so. I dropped a video for the ladies today, and I hope it helps you have a better day. Peace.